This is the second retail summit,
and I truly, truly want to welcome each and every one of you.
I'm extremely humbled by the presence of all the people who've been here, the sponsors, the exhibitors, the delegates.
How can we reduce the weight of taxation on formal sector wage earners? Our job is not really to make life difficult for you, is to be a service that facilitates you as the citizens to do what you must.
What we've seen is, for sure, there is the question of value. Customers are out there to look for value, but it has to be sustained value. So the conversation about quality is also quite important. And this is the whole journey about sustainability.
The hierarchy between distributor, supplier, retailer, that distance has been narrowed down. So the middleman is being cut off to a great extent, and a number of the larger players want to play straight to the retailers.
Now consumers are actually open-minded. They're not looking at modern trade as different as traditional.
At NCBA, we strongly believe that empowering SME requires more than just financing. It requires equipping entrepreneurs with knowledge, network, and capabilities that support long-term sustainability.
Our strategic ambition is really to support SMEs, corporates, government, and offer advisory services to the market.
AI has moved from a buzzword to a practical tool. Globally and here at home, retailers are starting to use advanced and even agentic AI to optimize pricing, assortment, fraud detection, and personalization at scale.
AI actually just helps you get opinions around a very broad set of data much faster.
Allow me to say that the government recognizes the big role played by the retail sector, because the retail sector does the last mile connection.
I think the Kenyan consumer right now is way much more informed. And this more informed customer is actually now starting to demand way more better things. This customer wants to actually not just see the whole traditional way of how he does things.
Initially, our consumers probably would look at value from a price point of view, or probably even from a product point of view. But if you look at how consumers are viewing value nowadays, it's not necessarily more from pricing or product, but it's moving to the experience. How are they able to buy from our shops, from our retailers?
Whether you're a supplier, at the end of the day, the retail, the customer-facing platform that a lot of us here represent is a key factor as to how this country, how this economy operates.
In your business, you need to be speaking the language that the consumer understands. You can't expect the consumer to understand you. You have to understand your consumer.
More and more, that relationship, it's a partnership. And I think for us, more and more, we're trying to get incentives aligned. So essentially, a thriving mall will lead to thriving retailers, and thriving retailers will lead to a thriving mall.
It's also very important to remember that this is not a touch and go kind of relationship. Goes back to what Ravi was saying. You have to be reasonable in what you're asking as a landlord. You have to be reasonable in what you're asking as a tenant.
How do we ensure we have the right assortment at the right price, at the right store to serve this customer adequately?
Where we are basically going in terms of retail is very nested in terms of data, as Alex mentioned. It's very nested in terms of how customers are coming to you and how well connected are you in terms of your information.
So you need to give the customer the reason why they should spend their money with you. And if value is on the table, chances are you're always going to have that customer and you're always going to be in business.